All right, we are on page 3 of your digital notebook. If you are using the e-text, you need to press next, that blue arrow at the bottom, 2 times. Again, if you press that and you have a screen here, you need to click this arrow. It might look like this. You just click this arrow and it goes away. The first question we are going to look at: what evidence supports the idea that Persians built a great empire? This will be on page 60 in your textbook, or it'll be in this red, pink highlighted, 3 sentences. So let's go ahead and listen.
How did the Persian Empire rise? Babylon's thick walls and strong gates were not able to keep out new conquerors. In 539 BCE, Babylon and the rest of Mesopotamia fell under the control of the powerful Persian Empire. That empire soon became the largest the world had ever seen. Although the names of the Persian Empire changed over time, depending on who was ruling, the empire itself stayed in existence for over 1,000 years. It dominated much of southwestern Asia and sometimes even Egypt between 500 BCE and 630 CE. It had great political and cultural influence over Western Asia during these centuries.
All right, again, the question: what evidence supports the idea that the Persians built a great empire? Find that answer in this pink highlighted 3 sentences. All right, next we are going to analyze this image. So let me click play. She's just going to read this, but we might as well listen.
Cyrus the Great.
Oh, no, she didn't read it. I apologize. So analyze the image. The archers, so that's what these 3 men are. They are archers. They're archers because they shoot bow and arrow. These archers decorated the palace of a Persian emperor. So you are to infer, what can you conclude about the Persian armies from this image? So look at this image. Look at how they're dressed. How come one is dressed differently? What do you think? Why is he dressed differently? I don't know. Go ahead and give me your thoughts to this image. Take that time now. All right, we are moving on to page 4. We are under Cyrus the Great. We have 2 questions here, and I will let this play throughout the entire 3 paragraphs. The first 2 paragraphs, you are going to look at this question: how did Cyrus the Great win and then expand his empire? And then that will be in your blue highlight. And then for the mastery check question, who were the immortals? You'll find that answer in this circled text, this paragraph. So go ahead and listen to Cyrus the Great.
Cyrus the Great. Persia formed to the east of Mesopotamia in what is now Iran. For years, the Persians had been ruled by their neighbors to the north, a people called the Medes. But in 550 BCE, Cyrus the Great led the Persians to victory over the Medes. By conquering the Medes, the Persians won an empire. Cyrus fought to create an even larger empire. He began in Asia Minor, in what is now Turkey, fighting the kingdom of Lydia. He defeated Lydia's rich king, Croesus. Then Cyrus pushed south into Ionia, a region settled by Greeks. One by one, he conquered Ionia's city-states. Later, Cyrus expanded Persia's border in the east toward India. Persia's rapid growth was due to its large and highly skilled standing army. A standing army is a permanent army of professional soldiers. The core of this army was a force of 10,000 elite soldiers, known as the Immortals.
All right, again, number 1, what evidence supports the idea that the Persian built a great empire? You'll find that in this blue highlighted text. And number 2, I'm on the wrong page. Let's try that again. So on page 4, not sure how I got back to page 3. Number 1, how did Cyrus the Great win and then expand his empire? You'll find that answer in the blue highlight. And then number 2, for your mastery check question, who were the immortals? So go ahead and take a minute and get those answers. All right, moving on to page 5. The first question is going to be in this green highlight, the conquest of Babylon. Why do you think Cyrus allowed conquered peoples to keep their own customs and religions? So let's think about this. If Mr. Patterson were to come into my room and completely change everything, say Mrs. Atwood's gone, I'm taking over as your teacher. If he were to come in and say, we're doing it my way now, we're not doing the videos anymore, we're going to do paper, pencil, the majority of you are probably going to revolt, right? You're probably not going to be happy. So if Cyrus goes into this conquered land and starts to say, we're going to do it my way now, everything you've been doing isn't going to be the way you're going to do it anymore, those people aren't going to be happy. They don't want to change their lives. So here's the thing. If Mr. Patterson were to come into my classroom, I'm gone. I'm no longer teaching you. Mr. Patterson is now your new teacher. If he comes in and says, we're going to keep doing everything, Mrs. Atwood's videos, we're just going to keep doing it all, you guys would probably be like, okay, all right, you're not Mrs. Atwood, but as long as we're doing the same thing that she did, it'll be a little bit easier. So you'll have less revolt. Less of you would be upset. Yes, you'd all be very upset I'm gone. I know, you all love me. But at least all of the stuff I've been doing, you would continue to do rather than changing. A lot of people don't like change. So think about that as we go ahead and listen to the conquest of Babylon. And again, why do you think Cyrus allowed conquered people to keep their own customs and their own religion? He didn't make them change. So let's go ahead and listen.
Conquest of Babylon. Cyrus and the Persian army captured Babylon in 539 BCE. Under his rule, Babylon grew into the wealthiest province of the Persian Empire. In general, Cyrus treated the Babylonians and other conquered peoples well. He allowed them to keep their own customs and religions rather than forcing them to adopt Persian ways. For example, when Cyrus conquered Babylon, he allowed the Jewish people to return to Jerusalem and rebuild their temple.
Again, why do you think Cyrus allowed conquered peoples to keep their own customs and religions? In this green highlighted paragraph, you will find that answer. Number 2, what was the result of the invasion of Cush by Cambyses? You'll find that answer in this blue highlighted short paragraph. We're going to go ahead and listen to further development.
Further development. Cyrus died in a battle in 530 BCE. His son, Cambyses II, continued his father's dream of increasing the size of the Persian Empire. First, Cambyses invaded northeast Africa and conquered Egypt. From there, he traveled south to try to capture Cush, but failed. Cambyses marched the Persian army through the desert with little food or other supplies. Soon his men were forced to kill and eat their pack animals. Many Persians died of starvation. After Cambyses died, Darius took the Persian throne by force. Under his rule, Persia grew even larger, and Darius became known as Darius the Great. He extended Persian rule east to the Indus Valley. In the west, the Persian army defeated Thrace, which was the first Persian victory in Europe. But later campaigns against Greece ended in Persia's defeat at the Battle of Marathon.
Number 2, what was the result of the invasion of Cush by Cambyses? You'll find that answer in this blue highlighted paragraph.